When you picture living on the Connecticut shoreline, you probably imagine peaceful beaches, sailboats at sunset, and charming downtowns that look straight out of a Hallmark movie. That's exactly what I pictured, right up until I actually moved here. Don't get me wrong, it is beautiful. But there's a whole side of shoreline life that no one really talks about. So today, I'm breaking down what it's really like living on the Connecticut shoreline. The good, the bad, and the stuff you'll never see in that real estate brochure. And stick around until the very end because the worst part about living here isn't what you think. Let's get into it. First of all, the weather isn't coastal New England cute at all. A lot of people move here expecting that breezy Cape Cod light climate. Mild winters, crisp falls, gentle summers. Nope. Here's the truth. The shoreline has some of the weirdest weather in New England. Summers are muggy. The humidity from Long Island Sound just hangs in the air. Your hair gives up, kids refuse to go outside, and the mosquitoes are relentless. And one more for good measure, just when you're excited to hang out at dusk at the beach with some friends, the sand fleas attack. And then winter hits. You don't even get that postcard snow like you do up in Litchfield County. Down here, it's gray slush that freezes overnight and turns your driveway into an ice skating rink. And the storms we get here are no joke. When a nor'easter hits, streets in towns like Mystic, Old Saybrook, and East Haven can flood in a matter of hours. I've seen Route 1 underwater more than once. And when the forecast calls for a high tide plus rain, you can pretty much bet on having sandbags at your front door if you live close enough to the sound. And if you're buying or renting, do yourself a favor and check the FEMA flood maps. A few extra feet of elevation can mean the difference between ocean view and ocean in your basement. Secondly, the cost of living hits hard here. Everyone knows that Connecticut is expensive, but the shoreline takes it to another level. Property taxes? Brutal. Even a modest home in towns like Madison and Guilford can come with a $12,000 to $15,000 property tax bill. And that's before you even add on flood insurance. Even if your house is technically above the flood zone, lenders often still require coverage, and that can easily add another $1,000 to $5,000 a year. And then there's everybody's favorite, utilities. Eversource and UI are notorious for high electric rates. And many older shoreline homes still run on heating oil. And in January, that oil bill hits like a second mortgage. So yeah, that affordable beach life dream, not quite the deal Instagram makes it out to be. So another thing to point out is that summers are gorgeous and complete chaos. From June through August, the shoreline transforms. Towns like Branford, Niantic, and Old Lyme can triple in population. Traffic on the post road crawls. Beaches fill up, and good luck getting a dinner reservation anywhere in town. Locals joke that beach parking is a competitive sport, and they're not wrong. Resident-only lots, pricey passes, and constant ticketing are no joke around here. But here's the upside. Summers here are magical. Outdoor concerts on the green, farmers markets every weekend, lobster rolls, sailboats catching the sunset off of Stony Creek or Charles Island. It really is beautiful. So the trick to surviving? Hit the beaches at 7 a.m. Grab coffee before the crowds and enjoy your quiet afternoons while the tourists battle for parking spots. Come late September, when the crowds vanish overnight, that first crisp morning feels like bliss. And another thing they don't tell you, you'll definitely need a car. The shoreline looks walkable, all those quaint town centers and pretty photos, but most places aren't. Sure, parts of towns like Mystic, Branford, and Milford have walkable downtowns, but life even a few miles inland, and you'll need a car for everything. That means groceries, coffee, pharmacy, you name it, you need to drive there. And public transit is limited. The Shoreline East runs from New London to New Haven, but schedules are thin and not great for commuters. And don't get me started on I-95. One fender bender and traffic backs up for miles. So if you imagined a breezy coastal commute with the windows down and coffee in hand, think again. It's more like stuck behind beach traffic while your iced latte slowly becomes room temperature. And let's be honest, the commute here will test your patience. If you work outside of your town, especially towards New York, brace yourself. I-95 is one of the most congested highways in the country. A 30-minute drive can easily turn into a 90-minute one on a weekday morning. The train helps a little. Metro North and Shoreline East both connect along the shore, but parking at most stations is very limited. Some towns even have multi-year waiting lists for parking permits. Until then, you're waking up early to hunt for the coveted spot at the one small parking lot relegated to the non-sticker holders. So yeah, podcasts, coffee, and patience are your new best friends. The silver lining? When you finally get home and see the sunset reflecting on the sound, all that stress sort of melts away. And now we've finally gotten to the absolute worst part of living on the shoreline, the hidden maintenance nightmare, salt air damage. Living by the water sounds dreamy until you realize that salty air is quietly destroying everything you own. If you're within a mile or two of Long Island Sound, that salt mist gets into everything. Your car rusts faster. Even brand new ones start showing corrosion within a few winters. Outdoor furniture and railings pit and peel away sooner than they should. Windows, AC units, and deck hardware all age in dog years. Even paint and siding fade faster because of the constant salt and humidity combo. So while it's not dramatic enough to make a headline, it is relentless. You'll find yourself power washing, repainting, or replacing things more often than you ever expected. And the worst part? It's not covered by insurance. It's just part of coastal life. And all this maintenance adds up not only in dollars, but in personal time. So yeah, you'll get those stunning sunsets and ocean breezes, but you'll also be tightening screws, repainting railings, and washing salt film off your windows a lot. But let's be honest, the works are what make it worth it. Living on the Connecticut shoreline isn't about perfection, it's about personality. It's about your neighbors dropping off fresh oysters because they had extras. It's the smell of salt air mixing with that smokiness in October. It's beach walks in January when it's just you and the gulls and the sound of the waves. So if you come here expecting Cape Cod or the Hamptons, you'll be disappointed. But if you come here ready for the uniqueness of Connecticut coastal life, you might never want to leave. So that's the real story. Everyday life on the Connecticut shoreline is made up of unpredictable weather, high costs, lots of traffic, plenty of maintenance, and breathtaking views. And I still personally think it's worth it every single day. Hit that like button and drop a comment if you live here or are thinking about moving here. Thanks for watching and have a great day.